Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're going over rare cold hardy fruit trees, so stay tuned. Before we hop into this video, I'd just like to say thank you so much for helping us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. It's amazing to be here with you guys, and we can't believe the support that we've gotten on this channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so because we're going to go over some pretty amazing plants, and I wouldn't want you to miss it. The fruit trees in this video are going to be extremely unique and also rare because they're actually interspecific hybrid fruit trees. This simply means that we're taking two fruit trees from different species and cross-pollinating them to get a new fruit. A common misconception with these fruit trees is that they're not natural. People think they're created in some sort of lab, and that's just not true. All of these trees have been hand-pollinated at Zager Genetics in order to make a new fruit variety available to all of us. I'm not working with Zager Genetics at all, I just think these fruit trees are so great that everybody needs to hear about them. First up on our list is going to be the Aprium, and like the name implies, this is a cross between an apricot and a plum. The Aprium turns out to be about 75% apricot and 25% plum. This fruit tree stays pretty moderate in its size, only ranging between 10 and 15 feet in height. The best part about it is it's self-fertile, meaning you're only going to need one of them in order to get fruit set. It does bloom in early April, so it's a pretty early bloomer. And if you get hit with those late frosts, you're going to want to be careful with this tree because you might have a few years here and there where you're not ending up with any fruit. The fruit does have a lot of uses. You could eat it fresh, you can make jams, you can make pies, you could use it on salads, so it has a lot of uses. It's well worth the space, and it is cold hardy all the way down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 34 degrees Celsius. Very unique tree, something you're going to want to get your hands on. Next up on the list is one of my personal favorites, and it's the Pluto. Like the name implies, the Pluto is a mixture between a plum and an apricot. However, unlike the Aprium, which takes more of the characteristics of an apricot, the Pluto is the exact opposite and takes more of the characteristics of a plum. The tree itself stays pretty moderate in height, ranging from about 10 to 15 feet tall. It is hardy down to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 29 degrees Celsius. You do need another Japanese plum or interspecific hybrid that contains Japanese plum in order to get fruit set. The fruit itself can be used for a lot of different purposes, such as fresh eating, pies, jams, toppings for ice cream, so a lot of things that can be done with this fruit. The bloom time is a bit early. It's from early March to April, so if you get those late frosts, that's something you're going to want to watch out for. But the fruit is too cool, in my opinion, not to try to grow. However, that's a decision you guys are going to have to make for yourselves. Next up on the list is the Plum Cot. The Plum Cot is actually a first-generation 50-50 split between a plum and an apricot. This means that the Aprium and the Pluto were actually bred further down the line from interspecific hybrids of this plant. This tree will get to be about 10 to 15 feet in height. It's cold hardy all the way down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 34 degrees Celsius. The bloom time might be a little bit early for some of you guys, being in early March. And one of the best qualities about this fruit is that it's self-fertile, so you're only going to need one in order to get fruit set. The fruit tastes really good. It's a nice 50-50 cross between an apricot and a plum, so you really can't beat it. It's something you're going to want to add to your garden. Next up on our list is one that's really crazy. It's the Plumry. The Plumry is an interspecific hybrid between, you guessed it, the cherry and the plum. This is a fruit tree that still blows my mind and makes me feel like I'm living in a sci-fi movie because you can take a plum and a cherry and cross them to actually get a Plumry. I mean, come on, it sounds fake. But I assure you it's 100% real, and when you look at this fruit growing on a tree, it looks like a miniature plum. And when you bite into it, you can definitely get hints of a plum and a cherry. It's a really crazy fruit to grow. The tree is moderate in size, getting to about 12 to 18 feet tall, and this can be controlled with regular pruning to whatever size you'd like it to be. It's cold hardy all the way down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 34 degrees Celsius. And keep in mind that you do need another Plumry or a late season Japanese plum in order to get fruit set. The bloom time is in late March and the ripening time is July through August. This is a tree that you guys really are going to want to grow. If you want a showstopper in the garden, everybody's going to be impressed that you're growing a plum cherry hybrid. And now, as if we couldn't get any crazier, next on the list is the Nectar Plum. The Nectar Plum is a mixture between the nectarine, the apricot, and the plum. Once again, when you're eating these fruits, you are getting hints of all of these different flavor profiles, and it is a very good sweet fruit that would have a lot of uses at the house. So I guess at the end of the day, if you can't decide what kind of fruit tree you want, why not get a Nectar Plum? This tree gets to be about 10 to 15 feet in height. It's cold hardy down to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 23 degrees Celsius, which is not as cold hardy as the other trees. And it is self-fertile. That's one of the great things about this tree. You only need one. The bloom time is in early March and the ripening time is in early June. Finally, last on our list but not least is the Picadilly. This tree is another triple hybrid of a peach, an apricot, and a plum. This triple hybrid is going to come in a little bit more cold hardy at negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 34 degrees Celsius. It only gets to about 10 to 15 feet in height, great for smaller yards, and it's self-fertile, which is another thing that's great for smaller yards. You only need one tree to get a good amount of fruit. This is yet again another fruit that's going to have some complex flavors. You're going to be able to sense all three of these different fruit working at the same time, and it's definitely one of those things that's going to be a showstopper in the garden. When people see these hybrid trees, they really can't believe it. Most people have never heard of them, and so it's just interesting to put in the garden. You are going to get a lot of good fruit that you have a lot of uses for. Yet again, fresh eating, jams, jellies, desserts. I mean, there's so much to do with this fruit. It's just another one to add to the garden. If you're looking for something unique that not many people have, you've got to get this one. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in the content. And also check out the AmericanFigCompany.com, where we sell over 130 varieties of figs. So we have a fig for everybody out there. Thanks again, guys.